Despite the fact that I sit in this tool, a coding tool, all day long, I am not a developer. I couldn't even write a Python script. So if you're thinking that AI automation is out of reach because you cannot tech your way out of a paper bag, it doesn't matter. You just need one skill, a skill that all of us humans have. Identify your problem. What is an AI automation? There are two things that define what makes an automation an AI automation. One, a traditional automation is deterministic, rules-based, and has feedback loops. Starting at a trigger, here, a certain time, data, in this case, is pulled from a playlist where video details on that video are obtained, which then allow us to get the transcript. This is a standard, typical, bread and butter, old school automation. But where it gets interesting is when you can add in something that can reason and summarize the transcript based upon instructions that you have given. Because automation was limited when there needed to be a decision made, like, is this comment kind or mean? What needs to be summarized from this video, or even how should this information be classified, like tags? But there's one other definition, in my opinion, for what an AI automation is. This is Zapier. It's one of the old school, been around forever, traditional automation platforms. Here is Copilot AI. So why is N8N, Zapier, and Make.com adding AI to their platforms? Because of the second definition of AI automation, which is that the AI, let's use this automation that Zapier is offering us as an example. And the first thing that pops up is a well-formatted prompt and this word right here, thinking. This is the second definition of what an AI automation is. It's an automation built by an AI. The AI has the ability to not only be within our automations, but it has the ability to help us or even create the automations on its own. This is Cursor, where I have built many automations, some of them incredibly helpful. Some of them didn't work out so well. That's part of the learning process. But you don't have to worry about using Cursor. You can use any agentic client, like Codex, which I recommend that you start with if you use OpenAI. If you already have a ChatGPT subscription, you can get started with Codex. It's already included in your subscription. But you might look at this, Codex, or this, Cursor, or even this, Claude Code, that you've heard about and just want to nope out because of the word code. But let me help you rewire your brain. From now on, the agent's job is to code. Your job is to create. The human is still needed to come up with what it is we need to be creative and the possibilities for its solution. That still belongs to us as humans. So step one, find a problem. This should be the easiest part of the process if you're anything like me. The first thing to do, think of the thing that's causing you the most pain, struggle, annoyance. In my case, that's editing. I hate editing with the heat of 1,000 suns. So when I first built Agent Space, I started trying to automate or somehow hand over editing to an agent. Could you look back through FlowLab and tell me when we started working on Final Cut Pro XML, DaVinci Resolve, and trying to create an agentic editing workflow.
Flow Lab dates FCP XML Plus, Resolve from November 2025.
What I wanted you to take from that is that automating is a process, not a one and done solution. But there are very few automations that I've just built and we all went off into the sunset to a picnic. It doesn't work like that. Automations are machines, digital machines, and like a car, it takes some maintenance. There are a lot of tricks that you can use to minimize that maintenance. And this is the one thing I want you to take from AI automation, if you take nothing else, the AI can fix the automation. When I realized this, my world just broke open and angels sang, basically. It was amazing. And that's why AI is taking over so many other platforms like Zapier, Make, and Aiden. Let me take you back in time to April 11th, 2023. GPT-4 has just come out, and I am over 3 nights slaving over a hot Etsy workflow for a shop that we had. I built this automation, my first AI automation, not because it contains any AI within it, but because AI helped me with the process of building it. My very first early efforts were literally exporting this automation, giving it to ChatGPT. So it was really early days. There was no web search that the model had access to. My memory is that all I could do was put this blueprint in and then go to the help files on make.com and copy and paste help files in. And with that method, that long and painful method, I was able to build out this automation, having not really built anything else on make.com. And so I was really green. But now things have changed because not only do we have access to an agent, we have access to this little button right here, which takes us to plan mode. So I've said step 1, which is find a problem. Step 2 is explain that problem in as much detail as you can come up with right here into this little box, or whatever box and whatever tool you're talking into. You're not trying to create a perfect prompt here. You're trying to express a problem with as much detail as you can. After this, plan mode and cursor and other tools have a ask user question tool. Most clients nowadays have access to some way for the agent to be able to ask you questions, which help to find the gaps in your problem that you haven't thought about. Especially when you're beginning in the process of AI automation, you're going to not think of everything. But even if you don't have this available, it doesn't matter. The point is that the agent should ask you questions to find gaps in your thinking. Ask me as many questions as you need to in order to help me get clear on how we can build this out. I did that for my most complicated workflow, the morning companion. And this took 2 nights of me just thinking and considering what it is I wanted to do to solve my problem. It was basically inertia, burnout. I'm tired. And this was impacting my ability to get up and get going with the day and focus on what I was trying to achieve in life. And I thought about something coming to me through Telegram that could give me basically like a morning companion, someone who would come into the room and say, okay, time to get going. But I ended up taking a look at what was here, and the space I'm referring to is agent space. This is my Obsidian vault, because an Obsidian vault, Basket, Foundry, Studio, Flow Lab, etc., is just a bunch of files and folders. So if you're really focused on getting into AI automation, I highly recommend starting with creating your own Obsidian vault, because it gives the agent data from which to pull to help you solve your problems programmatically and agentically. So once you have spent time and really take time with this step, what makes automating easier is the clearer you can get about the problem at the beginning of the stage, the easier the end stage is. And the questions that the model may ask you or that you may have, the most powerful question is how. For example, here in DaVinci Resolve, how the heck do I get an agent to edit my videos for me? This was a real problem. And this is where research comes in, is I ask the agent to bring in context from the outside to ground it in knowledge. Grounding is an actual term. It means to give the agent specific knowledge that it will answer from and not just from its training, which could be behind or out of date. So the first thing that we narrowed down was to get the timeline out of DaVinci Resolve and into a format the agent could read, an XML file. And you might be thinking, okay, but you stated that this is for normal people. How would I know what an XML file is? The secret is you learn as you go. You ask the agent questions like, how could we edit this? You think it through and you discuss it back and forth. Or you say, could you use your web search tools to find out ways that we could get this timeline out so that you could get access to it? And by asking questions and getting curious and being creative in your thinking, just trying to find new ways to solve the problem, that's what I did. This is Comment Guard, which deals with another pane of content creation, which was slowing me down and giving me that feeling of inertia and burnout. And this is the core of Comment Guard. Now, you might be looking at this and saying, I don't know what this is. I couldn't write it. I couldn't read it. You don't have to. I ask my agent, when it builds out solutions for me, to actually write in the comments what it does. The more that you can just start to get a little bit of a grasp of what the script is doing, things will start to look, well, not so overwhelming. Here's a fun trick. Take all of this, if you're super curious, and just add to chat and say, in the Comment Guard script, what do these lines do? Please use simple language for an adult beginner. Thanks.
That block loops over each command line argument, matches known flags like dry run or help to set variables or forward options, and errors on unknown flags.
And you might have heard that and gone, what? I didn't understand a thing that you just said. And that's okay, because you can just say, can you break that down using an analogy? Because I didn't quite pick up what you just said. Run that by me again, brother.
The loop is like a clerk processing a stack of command line cards one by one, routing each flag to the right action or stopping if a card is unknown.
I broke that prompt up on purpose because I wanted you to see the difference between asking for an analogy and not asking for an analogy. Even if you ask the agent to teach you something in simple language, doesn't mean your definition of simple language is the same as its definition of a simple language. The key point is adult beginner. You don't want it to talk to you like you're a baby. You want to get the actual knowledge, not simplified knowledge. But the analogy is really helpful. And there's one other power tool here. If you know or are very good at something like knitting, cooking, or mountain bike riding, or whatever it might be, it could be anything, hobby, even a book you love, ask it to use that as the analogy. I'm really good at cooking. Could you explain that using the analogy of cooking, please? Thank you.
Like mise en place, read each instruction bowl from the front of the line, follow the matching recipe step or stop if unknown, then shift the line until done.
Mise en place is what that is, not missy in place, but yeah. And I understood that because I know what mise en place is and I know how to cook. So we were here in plan mode And we've gotten step 1, which is figure out what your problem is. Step 2, which is define it, going back and forth. 3 is the actual planning process. And this is where you can start to feel the joy of handing this over to the agent. I'm going to show you how this works using Comment Guard, which is one of the automations that, since I set it up, just works in the background. I haven't had any problems with it. And here's my next tip. When you're getting started, it's going to be super tempting. I know I fell down this rabbit hole. It's going to be super tempting to want to automate the hell out of everything. This is a recent video I did on screen right now where I showed you all of the things that I've automated. But you can get overwhelmed and pretty tired. And AI is getting more expensive. So I recommend that you start with a pain that's causing you a lot of challenge and then automate it kind of piece by piece. This is the plan that the agent built for the YouTube Comment Guard. And you can see that it is pretty darn detailed. And even if your agentic space didn't have one, a plan is nothing more than a wee little markdown file. That's all. The agent just needs to know what to do step by step. My script authoring skill requires the agent to break the plan down into as minute as number of parts as you can get, basically. So here's another pro tip. The more nuclear you can make your plan, the more tiny you can make its steps, the better it is, and the less intelligent of a model you need to carry out the plan. And this can save you money. Just like automations can grow and change over time, so can your documentation or the knowledge that you and your agent can discover and then use to improve your skill. So the way that the Comment Guard works is that every day at 4 p.m., I receive comments, whatever comments I've gotten in the last 24 hours here in Telegram. It'll send me the top 10 comments. And the top is defined by logic. As long as you are telling the agent clearly what you need, it will build logic into the automation or the workflow process. So here, the logic is the comment nice? What makes AI automation so powerful nowadays is that the large language model can use reasoning to determine what's nice and what's not. Whereas in the before times, you'd have to use rule-based logic, which it was just impossible to do. And what it sends me in these comments is 1, a link directly to the exact comment, a 1 or 2 sentence excerpt from the comment, and then the agent's assessment of why it believes I should see this comment. So I only see comments that are kind, that are helpful, or that need help or assistance, so I can hop over and help them. But what happens to the troll comments? They land here in a Discord bot called Comment Guard. They get sent to my husband. My husband has a private chat in Discord with the Comment Guard bot. I am not a part of that chat, and it is his job when the comment comes in to head on over and log in to the channel, go over to the comment, hide the user, and make sure the comment is deleted. I never see the comment, and I never have to feel the pain and the stress that led me to want to not get out of bed and feel the burnout that I was feeling. That's not all of it. That was just some of it. What I want to tell you here is how powerful it feels to solve your own problems using an AI. There's no app that's going to go on the App Store that says, hey, here's an app that will take your comments that are mean or unkind and send them to your husband, who's perfectly tough and happy to handle it. So AI automation allows you to create basically customized for you exactly what you need apps, little tiny workflows, automations, whatever it is. So if you're feeling jazzed and need a few more ideas, I did a video on how I automated the hell out of everything with a few more cool automation examples. And that video is on screen, right?